Hey guys, this is Dago Sadie here. And you notice that one room led us all the way to over here. Woot! Okay, so I basically just went down here for the sake of using the armor key that we picked up from that one trap. And I don't know why I came in here yet. I thought there was ink ribbon here maybe, but I don't know why I was stupid and whatever. I do a couple stupid things in this run, and one stupid thing, which I'm not going to complain about until it happens, prevented me from doing this in under 3 hours. And no way, it'll completely justify. You can consider this an under 3 hour run. Okay, I'm not going there yet. All right. Once again, there's that blue gem that's just staring at me. I think I might as well pick up this ink ribbon, because I have ink ribbons in my inventory. I might as well pick them up. Why not? I mean, so now I have more than enough ink ribbons to get me through the entire game, which is pretty freaking sweet, if you know what I mean. I don't know why I decided to yawn it like that. I can easily justify yawning in my commentaries. I mean, I make my commentaries when I'm a little tired, so that keeps me calm. Doesn't make me, randomly spaz out like those stupid little kids who play Call of Duty and they're like, oh, I'm so cool, I play Call of Duty, and they're really like 5-year-olds. And people who play Call of Duty they feel like they're a better person because they're better than you at Call of Duty, and they actually think it's like, dude, I am so much better than you in this game. You're such a freaking noob. Oh my god, I have more self-worth than you because I am better than you in Call of Duty. You should kill yourself because you suck at this game, because this game is all that matters. Blah blah blah. It's like, ugh. This is one of the reasons why I don't care enough to renew my Xbox Live membership. Because one, there's really nothing to play except for maybe the only things I'd actually play is Halo and Operation Raccoon City, because its multiplayer is actually kind of fun. And I even like the single player campaign in that game. But, I mean, I don't think it was perfect, but it's still pretty fun. Multiplayer was cool, That game gets a lot of hate because for some reason everyone's expecting it to. I'll say it didn't meet up to everyone's expectations. I'll say it didn't even meet mine, but it still wasn't a bad game. All right, one thing I to say back there: the way you open that box, examine the one side and then examine the other one. Just do it exactly like that. You'll be fine. All right. Yeah, seriously, Operation Raccoon City. Everyone seems to hate that game because they're probably expecting like another, like Resident Evil 1 or something like that. It's like, man, Capcom, why won't you listen to us? Listen to your fans. One, they should probably realize Capcom does not really listen to their fans very much. They're like, Capcom's not exactly the highest rated company in terms of customer support, if you know what I mean. But whatever. Basically, people were expecting another Resident Evil 1 or something like that, and they got disappointed when they got a third-person shooter, even though the game was clearly advertised as being a third-person shooter. And they even said that the game was made by Slant Team 6, actually. Capcom, all they did was publish the game. Slant Team 6, the people who made one of the SOCOMs or something like that, they made Operation Raccoon City. They made it the way they wanted to make it, except Capcom gave them permission to make a Resident Evil styled game, and they did, and that's what you get, guys. I mean, if you were really expecting like a survival horror game, then you were kind of retarded for thinking that. All right, guys, you couldn't possibly expect them to actually waste their time trying to recreate the old Resident Evil games, which frankly not many games have been able to do. The closest I've seen to gameplay of the old Resident Evil games is, I don't know, maybe Dead Space, but even then you can't really say Dead Space either, because Dead Space does one thing. I haven't even finished Dead Space. I'll say before. Correct me if I say anything wrong here. But the one thing Dead Space does that really annoys me and totally takes away one of the major survival horror game elements is you can buy ammo, which is a total load of crap, because one of the things that's supposed to make survival horror games good is that you don't have any ammo, you don't have many ways to defend yourself, you feel defenseless, and then therefore you're more immersed in the game, and it feels more natural. It feels like you're doing something. It feels like you're part of the game. That's the survival part, and therefore, since you're forced to survive, that's where the horror comes in. It's pretty good. The system you shouldn't really mess with. There's no point in it. And once again, I'm going to keep letting that zombie bite me because I'm stupid. But just don't mess with the system. The system works, guys. Just no ammo, but no. People always expect to be handed things in a silver platter in playing games, and it really takes me off. Whatever. Or, it's Duke Nukem. That pisses me off. That was probably a terrible Duke Nukem imitation, but whatever. Yeah, it's really annoying when people say a game is bad because it wasn't exactly what they wanted. I mean, heck, there's even some people who say Resident Evil 4 is a bad game. It's like, oh my god, where's all of the survival horror elements that made Resident Evil? This isn't Resident Evil. And those people are completely retarded because they weren't trying to make it like the old Resident Evil games. In fact, I managed to get a used copy that actually had the box intact, and on the back it says Resident Evil reinvents itself in a horrifying new way. So yeah, it's still supposed to be scary, but in no universe is Resident Evil 4 supposed to be survival horror. Yet people still complain about the fact that it's not survival horror. And ugh, man, just so many games get so much unnecessary hate. Like, even I can even say some nice things about Duke Nukem Forever. Everyone seems to have hated that game, but it's probably just because, yeah, the game was scheduled to come out for like 14 years, I think it was, and it never did and then when they finally did, people were probably expecting a game as good as, I don't know, like, let's see, what's a universally heralded as good game? I'm just gonna say BioShock, I guess. BioShock is pretty freaking awesome. Basically, people were expecting a game that's as good as I think BioShock and Resident Evil 4 is. Alright, and that's pretty awesome. That's like, on a scale of 1 to 10, it's like 12. You know? So I like those games that much. I mean, you know, they're proud members of my Fave 5. You know what I mean? This game would be, but anytime I make any sort of like top 5, top whatever list, I hate using like in a game list. I'd say I really hate using the same series twice in the list because it just kind of defeats the purpose. So saying it's like your top 5 games and it's Resident Evil 1 through 5, and that's kind of a load of crap. I was like, hey, I finally dodged that guy, you know. And even like if I'm making like a top 5, top 10 albums, there's a lot of albums I really want to put on that list, but I'm feeling like, wait, I can't. I already have albums by that band on this list. I don't want to do that, you know. All right, so now we got the musical score, or half of it really. The other half is in the room with the piano that I kind of walked into earlier, and that, nope, not gonna complain yet. Not gonna complain yet. All right, and so now we're gonna go. I don't even remember what I'm about to do now. All right, let's just like wait a second here. Yeah, I had a nice rant going on there actually. Usually I'm not one to engage in these types of rants, but for once I actually did, and it didn't suck. You know? Oh wait, I think I am going to that one room now. Ooh, this is gonna be this. Okay, here you go. Here comes the heartache. I think. Wait, maybe not. Oh no heartache. Never mind. Sorry guys, false alarm. I'm going to get the wind crest. Just because I'm alright. Okay, my brother thinks he's incredibly funny because he said only on Tuesdays in the background.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. Okay. Rule number 1, my brother is not funny. Okay. So going to this room, and I did not know that a zombie comes out of that room. And none of my playthroughs have I ever seen that zombie. That scared the crap out of me. This game manages to surprise and frighten me in new ways every single time I play it. I still, even after I know what's coming, I've played through this game at least 15 times in total, and I know, I pretty much know it like the back of my hand, and I still managed to get frightened by it every single time I play it. Now, that's some pretty good game design. I think to make a good horror game, a couple things you need. One, you should make the player feel helpless. This game certainly does that on the harder difficulties, because you always feel like you're going to get bitten, you're always worrying about your health, and sometimes even when you know for a fact that, like, hey, I can get past this part, you're still frightened enough that it's like, oh, I better save before I do this anyway. If a game gets you to worry and be OCD about little things like that, then that's some good game design. And if even after you play it and you still feel the same, you can still get the same emotional response to the game that you get from the first time you played it on multiple playthroughs, then that's some good game design. I feel, this is the kind of stuff I look for in a game. The game has to be memorable enough that I want to play it again, and just as good on other playthroughs. I mean, even like sometimes I'd play through this game like twice in a week in order to like get one of those really good runs of it, and I still find it just as frightening playing it right after the first time. This game, like this thing actually isn't scary, it's just kind of annoying, but still. But most of the game, like I still constantly feel that feeling of, oh no, am I going to make it through this? Are these zombies going to friggin' murder me? You know what I mean? It's horror. Horror. Survival horror. Okay, if any of you guys have seen the Let's Play of this game I started on my other channel with Narb and Luke as some guest commentators, just watch it. It's horror. We just kind of kept randomly saying horror, and Luke kept saying Jill is pretty. That's Luke for you. Alright, so now we have that wind crest, which is really important because we need it to get one of the strongest item Chris can use, the Magnum. And the Magnum, actually, I'm only going to use it against the final boss. But whatever. That doesn't matter. We still need the Magnum regardless. And because I'm so awesome, I still even have a bunch of shotgun shells left at the end. Because the first time I played these in hard mode, I didn't have any left. I went through them all somehow. But I figured out some good item management, and I got the stuff I need. Yeah. I don't no clue what I'm doing now. I'm just kind of talking. Hey, one of my friends is on Skype now. I have friends, guys. Yeah. Okay, whatever. So now we are going to go on a pretty important quest now. We are going to, I think this is probably the last thing we're unlocking with the armor key, which is pretty awesome. Get to use up the armor key and never see it ever again because the armor key is stupid. Oh, hey, video's over. Alright, guys. I will see you next time when we continue going through this hellish hellhole. Ha! Alright, see you guys.